Friends, we celebrate today the feast of Pope St. Pius X, another beautiful, inspiring saint. We've had some beautiful saints this week. My dad grew up going to St. Pius X grade school. In fact, I'm pretty sure he was kicked out of St. Pius X grade school in 4th grade. I'm going to have to check on that later today. But St. Pius X was known for essentially two things. First being his concerns with the Eucharist, where he worked very strenuously to lower the age of reception of First Communion. He wanted children to be able to receive Jesus at an earlier age, right? Let the children come to me. Do not hinder them. And he was insistent on more frequent reception of Holy Communion. I just think you see that in this gospel. The Lord is exhorting Simon Peter to feed the lambs, And here's Pope Pius X, I want to feed you. So he fed the church Eucharistically, and second, he fed the church in truth. He fought strenuously against a heresy known as Modernism. This is a huge thing that Pius X was known for, was his battle against Modernism, which he called the synthesis of all heresies. Now that's a mouthful, so this is what I want to talk about just briefly this morning. What was this Modernism business and why it's so important for us? And his legacy, why do we need to know this? Okay, so Modernism, condemned by Pius X in his 1907 encyclical, it's called Pascendi Dominici Gregis. I quote, "Modernism was a subtle and insidious heresy that seeks to reconcile Catholic doctrine with the intellectual currents of modernity, particularly by subordinating divine revelation to human subjectivity and historical relativism." What does all that mean? It means this: that in essence, what modernism was doing, it was draining the faith of all of its supernaturality. That there's nothing supernatural about this faith. It's just a human construct. That divine revelation isn't divine. It's just the byproduct of human socio-cultural realities. That there's nothing inherently mystical, metaphysical, transcendental in the sacraments or sacramentals. It's just all symbols. If you ever seen, driving down the road, if you ever seen someone with those coexist bumper stickers, right, where you've got all the different religious symbols, that bumper sticker is espousing what we would call in philosophy of religion, we would call it syncretism, this idea that all religions are just equal. They're just the same thing. Joseph Campbell saying that all religious expression is just, it's all just different roads up the same mountain, and really, Modernism would say, and there's no one on top of the mountain. It's just a nice way to pass the time while you're living here below. Look, here's the reality, that modernism, it hasn't been defeated. It's still very much alive and well. If you want to hear the priests and prophets of modernism, just go to a contemporary university. You can even go to a Catholic university. A lot of our Catholic schools are employing a lot of modernists in many ways. That there's nothing inherently mystical, transcendental, powerful, metaphysical in the dogmas or doctrines of our faith. And it's like, what's at stake in this is there something solid to stand on? Is there something solid to base your life on or not? It's an either or. Either this is real. Either Simon Peter had this experience with the living, risen Jesus, or he didn't. Either the scriptures are giving us access to God's heart, to God's mind, to God's desires for us, or it's just a bunch of fables. And if it's just a bunch of fables, what are we doing? Who cares? That's what's at stake. So let's call upon the intercession of Pius X again, this heroic defender of the faith, to inspire in our church, especially in our leaders, this zeal for proclaiming the fullness of the truth. That the reason why the Petrine ministry is the Petrine ministry, it's not because Peter was so, virtuous or intellectual. No, the Petrine ministry is the Petrine ministry because Peter had this encounter with the living and real Jesus. And he was a witness to it. Amen.